2025 NWBA Championship Series. Today's contest is women's third, fourth place matchup between the Illinois Fighting Illini and the Arizona Wildcats. First, let's meet the Arizona Wildcats. Number 0, Abigail Coffin. Number 2, Rosie Long. Number 3, Alyssa Freeman. Number 11, Elizabeth Pentecost. Number 12, Mackenzie Hagg. Number 24, Alma Velasquez. And number 28, Isabella Johnson. Now for your starters. Number 1, Lily Lowenslager. Number 5, Abby Dunn. Number 14, Samantha Frazier. Number 20, Haley Nielsen. And number 23, Ella Ray Rodriguez. The Wildcats are coached by Courtney Ryan and head coach Josie Oslakin.
Riddick on the beat, boy.
Let's meet the Fighting Illini. Number 4, Katie Broadbent. Number 22, Annika Cassidy. Number 24, Bethany Johnson. Number 25, Morgan McCammon. Number 40, Kendall Speaks. And now for your starters. Number 1, Jade Atkin. Number 3, Amelia Stotts. Number 10, Mary Wagstaff. Number 54, Abby Counts. And number 55, Rafika Kandakrindi. Your coaches for the Illini. The assistants are Matthew Poland, Marley Wagstaff. Head coach, Stephanie Wheeler.
We welcome you to this consolation game. Third place on the line for the Arizona Wildcats and the University of Illinois Fighting Illini, the number 3 and number 4 seeds in the country, facing off after their wins in the quarterfinals for the Illini, 72-19 against the Cooney Beavers. The Wildcats, 63-29 against the Whitewater Warhawks. Wildcats taking a loss 58-26 to the Alabama Crimson Tide, and the Illini tried to fight off the moving Mavs, but a loss of 59-40. Welcome to everyone watching around the world. I'm Spencer Thompson alongside Mike Frogley. Proud to be with you in Champaign, Illinois. We saw both of these teams, Mike, yesterday in their quarterfinal matchups and got to see some good performances from both. This is where it shapes up. We talked about all the time that we've been on the air throughout this weekend, how the competition gets better as the tournaments go along. This third place game should be an incredible matchup, especially with the bouts these two have had.
Yeah, both of these teams coming off of tough losses yesterday. Arizona struggled against the Alabama pressure full court. Interesting to see if Illinois does something similar. Illinois similarly struggled against a nuanced defense full court by UTA, where they doubled and kept a big player out. Does Arizona try something like that too, or what do they do defensively?
And we are underway from the State Farm Center. Adkin winning the tip-off to get it over to Mary Wagstaff. And over on the right wing, the graduate student from Mesquite, Nevada, will try to get things going. Will dump it inside for a shot in the lane that goes off of the rim. And rebounded back by Wagstaff.
A nice little pick and roll on the offside. Arizona choosing to stay with Wagstaff. That gave Counts the open look.
Lautenschlager with the rebound as Arizona will get its first offensive possession of the game. This Wildcats team, 6 wins and 20 losses on their campaign, 3-14 in the college level, as this gets intercepted by Adkin.
Here's that pressure up court.
Yeah, you got a back pick being executed on Jade Adkin, which you're going to have to get her out of the game if you want to have any sort of success. But when you also have Mary Wagstaff banking shots like that, it's going to be a tough challenge all day.
Yeah, I love Wagstaff as she's rolling in, took a little bit more time. She actually looked offside to see if her teammate was going to be more open, and then she took the shot. Nice, settled composure in shooting.
Nilsson, dump inside, a foul drawn, 2-point shot attempt from Frazier.
Illinois foul on Amelia Stotts, her first.
It'll be really interesting to see how these two teams try to get to the rim and get quality scoring opportunities.
Stotts called on the foul. Frazier coming up with her second free throw attempt. The sophomore from Sugar Hill, Georgia, has played in 20 games and averaging about 7 points a game. Can't get on the board there, but Lautenschlager tried to get the rebound, draws the foul.
Yeah, that's a tough one on those long rebounds on free throws like that.
Illinois foul on number 10.
And Mary Wagstaff called for her first foul.
Second.
Setting up Rodriguez. Rodriguez trying to go on the far right wing. Inside, Wagstaff tried to get a tip at it, and the first bucket of the game for the Wildcats, Samantha Frazier.
Yeah, great cross pick by Arizona to get that roll to that attack at the basket like that.
Wagstaff fight for it with Lautenschlager, gets bounced up, and Lautenschlager will try to win that. It's bounced off. Who are they going to rule it to? Illinois.
Really smart play by Wagstaff. The Arizona player trying to box her out so she can't get to the ball, so it goes out of bounds. Would be Arizona ball, but Wagstaff reaching over, just tapping the ball off of the Arizona player's chair.
Abigail counts. 3-second violation. I beg your pardon. That's actually a foul they'll call. It's a charge. They'll call that one on Lautenschlager.
Number 1, Jade Adkin, her first. Teams.
I beg your pardon. That was Jade Adkin. They called that on the Alumni on the offensive call. We're already up to 3 fouls for Illinois. Need to be trouble in terms of getting to the bonus.
Yeah, Illinois' defense not quite as tight as it was yesterday against UTA, out a little bit, but it still looks like they want to take away those attacks to the basket and make Arizona settle for outside shots.
We got a whistle heading back the other way. And this time we got, now it's Lautenschlager getting called for the foul. Is 1-1 on fouls on both ends of the floor on the offensive side.
Yeah, and you could actually hear that foul because you could hear the foot plate hit the other wheelchair.
And it's going back the other way. They'll call this one on Stotts.
sometimes at the beginning of a big game, the players have a little bit of extra energy, and you'll see them get a little bit anxious in trying to execute the game. That might be what we're seeing here with some of these offensive fouls. Trying to be, there's a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of tension, trying to do a little bit too much to keep a pick.
Katie Broadbent checked in for Illinois as this two-point shot rims out. Chance for Nilsson to get it in as Wagstaff back in possession. Only a 2-2 game as that ball will go off the back of Lautenschlager. It's clenching the back of her shoulder, too, because that basketball hurts sometimes.
Well, it's great. You see, Arizona's putting that pressure up court. Illinois is breaking. They're getting there. But what you've got to do is make sure that they've got posts for the ball. Nobody was looking back to see for the ball, where the ball was, and be a post to help move the ball up.
Wagstaff. Dump inside. Atkin, who was a workhorse for the Illinois in the first couple of games. Rebound by Counts, who will bank the shot in.
And right off the bat, if you look at the shots that each team's taking, Illinois is taking shots in the paint. Arizona's taking shots outside the paint. At the end of the game, you're going to win the battle by taking shots in the paint.
And it's a credit to this Fighting Illini defense and how they've kept the Wildcats thus far out of the paint. And right side, Lautenschlager getting the angle, but couldn't get it up. Just not enough reach on the arc as Wagstaff will coordinate the offense. Jane Atkin, graduate student from Great Britain. Try to set things up top of the key, a foul.
Yeah, Illinois doing a good job keeping space as they move the ball up against this pressure. And this last time I saw a couple of the Illinois players, they stopped short and looked over their shoulders to be available for posts or picks against that pressure.
Lautenschlager called for the foul. Arizona's second of the first quarter. And Illinois at 4 fouls, so have to be careful to not commit another one to get up to that bonus metric. Trying to go inside, 3-second violation.
3-second violation.
Yeah, that was Counts that time. She realized that she should have shot that ball. The front caster's in the lane, gets the lane violation.
Frazier will try to set it up for the Wildcats. Left side, Lautenschlager with the shot. She's got the bucket. Tied at 4.
Tough shot for her, though. Broadbent right there in her face. Nothing else for her to do but take that shot. That's a shot I think that Illinois is going to be content to give up throughout the game.
Dumped down. A chance here for Katie Broadbent in the paint. Too strong. Ridvika tried to get the reach there, and it's going the other way.
Yeah, nice job by Illinois. They had a post for the ball ahead. That's what we talked about. So they post the ball to Counts, just over half, and then they attack off ball, trailing the play. That got Broadbent open.
What would you say to that freshly injured veteran looking to get involved in adaptive sports?
I found my outlet through wheelchair basketball.
A lot of us are used to, having weapons in the military. Now our Formax is our new M16.
It's our new battle buddy. Once they find a chair that suits them, anything's possible.
When you understand the ins and outs of a chair or your weapon, you're unstoppable.
Something special for you guys because getting your jerseys is a big deal. And especially for those of you, this is your first Illini jersey, it's a really big deal. Our theme this week and our focus this week is going to be legacy, okay? And talking about our own legacy as a team, as a program, and as individual athletes, what our legacy is. So that's kind of why we prompted you all to think about that.
Full timeout called by the Fighting Illini at the 5:14 mark left in the first quarter. 4 all right now in this third place game for the women's section of the NIWBT. Top of the key is Nilsson, who will dump it inside. Another 2-point shot attempt. Frazier off the rim. and Illinois will repossess it.
Yeah, good mismatch by Arizona, getting a chance to have their bigger player, their taller player, shoot over the smaller Illini.
2-point shot attempts, too strong. Bounced in the area of Ridvika, and Wagstaff will keep it in possession. Wagstaff, right elbow with the pass. The reach there for Adkin. Too much of a rim out, and Arizona tries to get it back. Lautenschlager will dump it down. Only one player back. Samantha Frazier will settle to reset for the play. Sophomore from Sugar Hill, Georgia. On the left side. Ringing around. Going up for the two. A good bucket from Rodriguez.
Still Illinois, I think that's what they want to see Arizona do. Take those shots from outside the key, 15-foot, 17-foot jumpers.
Jump ball forced. I tell you, that's great awareness by Lautenschlager, knowing where the possession arrow was.
Yeah, and that's why it's so important to pass the ball so your teammate catches it ball body defense. You know, the player from Illinois catches it in the middle of their lap instead of using their body to be able to protect the ball. It makes it easy for Lautenschlager to get her hands on the ball.
Morgan McCammon checks in for the Illini, the senior from Georgetown, Texas. As this heads back, Rodriguez will sling it around. Arizona leading 6-4. Will draw the foul for the 2-point shot. Broadbent called for the foul. And we are now in the bonus territory, although it wouldn't have made a difference because of that being a foul on the 2-point shot anyways. But interesting to see. I don't recall if we've had any of the women's tournament games get up to the bonus in a quarter to this point. Maybe once, but very rare.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if these early fouls, create some rotational problems, some substitution issues later on in the game.
McCammon will possess it. 3.5 left in this first. Dump down. Broadbent alone in the lane. Too strong.
Yep. Great job for Broadbent getting open. She has time to get a better angle and take more time on that shot, though. Tough angle to shoot from.
A distant angle, and somehow Nilsson managed to rim it in. And a foul.
Substitute for the Illini.
Illinois' Amelia Stotts will check in as looks like Broadbent will be called for the foul.
Yeah, one of the things, we mentioned it before, space is so important. And Broadbent, in such a rush to get up the court, she runs into the Arizona player. She needs to stop short from that. Start with space first. Make the Arizona players come to them. And with that space, that allows you to move so you can either cut or pick in the open court.
So they actually had a correction. The official signaled a 4 towards the scorer's table for the foul. It was actually called on Velasquez it was actually on Bethany Johnson of Illinois for Arizona to get the inbound pass. As Lautenschlager with the shot off the glass.
Yeah, there's that long shot. Illinois is content to make them take long twos.
Dump over Stotts for 2. Too weak. But on the follow-through on the other shot, Adkin gets it back, draws the foul. But the shot will be on the floor.
Arizona foul on Samantha Frazier.
Frazier called for the foul.
Teams, third.
Yeah, Illinois starting to break, get through that pressure from Arizona and get some good scoring opportunities.
Lautenschlager with the rebound as the ball goes loose and back to the Illini. Abigail Counts on possession. Looked like she was going to load up for a 3. Counts. Back right side. Dump in. Adkin with the reach and the splash.
Beautiful pass by McCammon. just right on the perfect hand of Atkins so she could catch and shoot.
Lautenschlager, right side. Pass over. Slung around Frazier. Just over 2 minutes left to go, and a foul drawn. Jade Atkin tried to get ball. Coach Wheeler not happy about that call, as it's hard to tell from our vantage point. It looked like she got mostly ball there, but Perspective has the better angle on it than we do.
That's a tough one. Jade Atkins was doing a great job rotating defensively. She first jumped perfectly on that point offensive player for Arizona. You know, great chair position, didn't pick up a foul, then she rotated again, and it looked like she completed rotation, but I guess she got there just a bit late.
Abigail Dunn on bank of the free throw there to make it 9-6. I know we're focusing on basketball as this air balls, but how about our producer Matthew Poland in his suit? Like, you see that on the camera shot. He really cleans up well when it comes to game time.
He does. I think his parents would be proud.
Remember one of the games yesterday, he was asking, hey, do I have time to go change in my suit? And he got to change into it and got back within 2 minutes of the other game as Atkin makes up for the foul called on her with a 2-point shot.
Yeah, great pass in again by McCammon. Just right on Atkins' hands, so she doesn't have to move at all, and she can catch and shoot right away. That prevents the defense from contesting it.
Arizona still leading by 1. Another shot inside the lane will bounce on the inside of the rim, but a follow-through shot from Abigail Dunn doesn't make it in. And a good steal from Nilsson. Nilsson will scoop it up, laughing a little bit as she was scooping up the ball, couldn't get it in her reach.
And she couldn't quite get her fingers on it to pull it in.
As Rodriguez will toss deep. Lautenschlager too short, and this gets picked up by Rigvika. Deep pass that'll go across. Adkin trying to get around the defenders. Adkin. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Adkin will just have to settle for slinging it at the net and bakes it in. Jade Atkins made it look easy.
Big shot. Arizona, great job with their pressure that time. They didn't let Illinois break it down, and they made them create as tough a shot as they possibly could. That's actually a good defensive possession by Arizona.
Illinois has a lead, an offensive foul going the other way.
Yeah, you can just see again, players are struggling with how they're setting up their picking angles. The pick-ees are trying to make them pick a moving defender, and that makes it so hard. If you're trying to set up a teammate so they can set the pick, get that defender moving as little as possible so it's easier for your teammate to set the pick.
Adkin, no shot clock to worry about. 10 seconds left in the first quarter. Amelia Stotts trying to go forward, and she's fouled. Lautenschlager called again. And Lautenschlager already in foul trouble at 3.
That's a tough one for Arizona because she does a lot of different things on offense. She's not just strong getting to the hoop. She's also effective outside. She can handle the ball. She can play off ball. There's a lot of different things she does that fill gaps and connect their offense. So that's something to watch going forward.
You mentioned it was a tough one. Mackenzie Hagg will check in as assistant coach Courtney Ryan for the Wildcats having a conversation with Lily, trying to get things situated. Amelia Stotts will miss both free throws. 7.4 in the opening 10.
A little bit of pressure right now by Illinois just to prevent Arizona from getting an easy shot to close out the quarter.
Frazier This will be tossed down. They'll try to get it back over for one last shot. It gets swiped by Atkin, and that'll take us to the end of the first quarter. 10-9, Fighting Illini leading in this third-place game in the NIWBT.
I'm Susanna Scaroni. I am a registered dietitian as well as a wheelchair racer here at the University of Illinois. I'm excited to act as the registered dietitian for the wheelchair basketball team and share what I know about nutrition. Within my role, I support the wheelchair basketball players in choosing a variety of food sources, trying to aim for food first approaches, having a good foundation of knowledge, so knowing what proteins, carbs, and fats are and what they do, and knowing that they're not just athletes, that they're students and they're humans, and hoping to support them as they just reach their potential. From a young age, I've been really fascinated with how different foods and different nutrients impact our health and performance, and so ever since high school, basically, I've enjoyed learning about different types of nutrition, different types of exercise metabolism, and I also have a great passion of sharing that and seeing other people come to new understandings. So
For the Fighting Illini over the Wildcats. Out of all the teams that are here in NIWBT or have been a part of this weekend, between Arizona and Arizona, the one who had to travel out the farthest as a 3-second violation, takes it the other way. Wildcats, the team to travel the farthest in the women's division, men's Eastern Washington. Very much a hike, and we talked about how with Arizona it's tough because it's great on the recruiting side. They're able to bring so many good players in, but it's a challenge because they have to travel everywhere.
Yeah, the costs for them just to do that, it's high. And that stretches, I know that stretches their budget. I was talking to their athletic director the other day, and he was talking about how fundraising, they're constantly beating the drums and trying to generate as much fundraising as they can.
Yep, Peter Hughes, he's actually right behind us watching as his Wildcats try to fend off the Illini, but can't do it on that shot, on McCammon's bucket.
Yeah, great open court pick and roll by the Illini to generate that shot going to the basket.
Arizona will host the NIWBT next year in Tucson. The men's and women's tournaments. The NWBA going to a format of men's and women's tournaments being at the same venue in the same week. As this shot will bounce off of the backboard and rim, rebounded by McCammon.
Yeah, there's that long two again that Illinois is forcing Arizona to take.
McCammon forced outside the lane. Inside, Atkins, splash.
Yeah, great off-ball pick and roll against the press. Move the ball up and then just simply off-ball pick and roll. That's what they did to get that cut to the basket. I think that's what Coach from Arizona is going to be talking about now.
What would you say to that freshly injured veteran looking to get involved in adaptive sports?
I found my outlet through wheelchair basketball.
A lot of us are used to, having weapons in the military. Now Formax is our new M16.
It's our new battle buddy. Once they find a chair that suits them, anything's possible.
When you understand the ins and outs of a chair or your weapon, you're unstoppable.
Interested to see how Coach Aslickson makes adjustments here from the 30-second timeout. She mentioned intermedia availability, that they always have a preparation by opponent is their strategy. And she also mentioned it was really fun from her team to see their individual skill sets advance and to see how each of them individually improve, as Abigail Dunn, one of the players who likes to improve with those shots in the paint.
Nice little dump in for Dunn so she could make the layup.
And we got it looks like the basketball was about to go down the ramp. Got it stopped there. Usually when this stadium is full, you have so many media members and people around the sidelines that you don't have to worry about it going in the tunnel.
Yeah, see a little bit of pressure up court, but it's not quite the same.
Adkin too strong. Arizona trying to take it back down. 5 seconds to get past the midcourt line, and they do. 20 seconds to work with as they set up the play. Right side, Rodriguez.
Yeah, there's a power set right now with the two big players from Arizona together on one side.
Shot too strong from Abigail Dunn.
Oh, we see the adjustment here by Arizona. They're going to try to double the big post players from Illinois and make it a 4-on-3 game. This was really effective yesterday by UTA.
Right side, shot McCammon with the basket.
So they put the ball in lower classification players. They took the ball out of their two big post players' hands. That frees up those big post players to attack off ball. That created that. So that's going to be something to watch for as this game goes on.
Foul called. It's going the other way. Offensive.
So you talk about always getting better. It's a great example of that, of the Illinois team taking what happened yesterday, even though they lost, and now using that and getting better. And it's a great opportunity for the lower classification players like Counts to take the responsibility of handling the ball, and that frees up their teammates.
Under 7 left to go before halftime. Illinois has jumped out to a 5-point lead. So they were down by 4. And Illinois inside, 2 free throws coming up for Stotts.
Yeah, great cross pick. You see McCammon coming down on the left wing. Stotts identifies that extended defender, goes in cross picks, holds the pick long enough for the defense to rotate and the lane to clear for her to roll. Great pick, great discipline on sticking the pick and rolling.
Freeman, the junior from Fredericksburg, Georgia, will go for the shot as it may have grazed the rim.
There's a tiny little thing about this. It looks like it's coming up short. I'm watching her as she's shooting. She's got to keep her weight a little bit more forward. She's losing power because she's falling backwards in her chair.
That one does get off of the rim, but rebound by Adkin draws another foul. Coffin called for it, and Adkin will go to the line for 2.
Okay, Abigail Coffin, her first, team's third. At the line, Jade Atkin, 2-2.
It's a great way to get Jade Atkin a rhythm. Get her to the line, get her taking some shots there, and that'll help her rhythm for the game.
Arizona will take it back as they still lead by 5. From the top of the key, Nilsson. Frazier. Dump inside. Another chance for Dunn. She's got 2. Abigail Dunn has been money when she gets into the paint.
It's so tough for a defense to complete its defensive rotation. When that low defender jumps out, it's too far to recover. You really can't jump from low effectively in this game.
Shaves the lead down to 3, but Illinois looking to respond as that goes high. McCammon loose. Arizona's got it. Back over to Frazier. And you notice also with Illinois' defense, they quickly rush 2 of their players back down the length of the court. Count it! Frazier for the 3-point play.
And it looks like that's on Atkins.
Entering in, number 4, Katie
Broadbent is going to come in for Illinois, as well as Wagstaff. And a 30-second timeout called by Coach Wheeler.
Yeah,
Wheelchair basketball was actually created at the University of Illinois to help World War II veterans acclimate back into society. So I just felt like I wanted to be a small part of what the program has to offer for adaptive sports athletes. I also was very connected to the coach there at that time. His name was Mike Frogley. He's one of my mentors still to this day. He would always challenge us. He would never let us be afraid to fail. You have to try. You have to put yourself out there. And as a Paralympian, as a Team USA athlete, we live in an incredibly uncertain and vulnerable experience. Even if you quote unquote lose or you don't accomplish your goals, those are the opportunities that you have to grow. And I learned those skills back at U of I.
Just a chance for Coach Wheeler to regroup and refocus. We were talking about this. This is similar to what the Mustangs were doing in the men's bracket throughout the tournament, of knowing how to stop these early runs early on for their opponent.
Yeah, it's so important to not let the number of bad possessions stack up. Coach Wheeler calling that timeout right away. Don't let a lot of momentum shift. Get control of the game. Good timeout by Coach Wheeler.
16 all with those free throws, and we're seeing an intense battle between teams from two different sides of the country. I'm going to have to be interested to know the distance between Champaign, Illinois and Tucson, Arizona. It's a long bus ride, but this team, the Wildcats, flew in Champaign, dumped down, catch made, but a foul.
I like the patience of Illinois, to patiently work to create space, look for those picks. I'd like to see the lower class players like Counts and Broadbent handle the ball a little bit more to free up Wagstaff and McCammon to move without the ball.
Rosie Long called for the foul before the shot went off. Illinois will continue possession. From the right elbow, a shot there off the rim and rebounded by Counts. The sophomore from Flower Mound, Texas, in position, whistle. Looked like it had something to do with the shot clock, as they'll reset it on the baseline. Radvika on the inbound pass. Counts, looking for the setup. Got 5 minutes left to go before halftime, as this is dumped in. A foul. Wagstaff tried to go in. It's on the floor.
Yeah, great cross pick by Conda Credini for McCammon to get her in the key. That's that attack high that so often we're seeing the teams, they miss that. They get so attracted to going to the basket. They need to actually start attacking a little bit farther away where the space is opening up at those elbows.
Nilsson called for the foul. That's the team fifth, so we're now in the bonus in favor of the Illini. Condacrini will head to the line. 1.0 freshman from Louisville, Texas. Couldn't get the angle on the shot. Vika talking about it. Not as much on the stat line, but she's played in 27 games for the Fighting Illini on the year. The only freshman on the team that is starting to make a name for herself. I mentioned the other day how she's the team hairstylist. She also loves to paint acrylics when she's not on the court.
Seeing a little bit of pressure here by Illinois. Nice change, nice. Don't let Arizona get into a rhythm, especially if they're putting a run on. I love the aggressiveness to come out and put pressure and get them out of that rhythm.
Coffin, right wing, Nilsson. Send it back over. Here's the shot that does reset the shot clock, but Frazier can't bank it in. Rebound, Broadbent with the whistle. And Lautenschlager will come back in, even with her being in foul trouble.
Yeah, still like the pressure from Illinois. Got Arizona putting their heads down, trying to think we got to get the ball up instead of rolling into their offensive set, seeing, okay, where can we take advantage of Illinois?
Right side, Frazier. Tied at 16 all for the moment as this bucket goes in. Coffin gives Arizona the 2-point lead.
Yeah, that's the power side. They have both tall players on the same side. Illinois need to keep an extra defender closer to that and make the ball swing happen to somebody outside, offside.
Illinois trying to get a response here as Mary Wagstaff, graduate student, captain, sociology major, foul called.
Can almost see that one coming. Almost see that coming. Broadbent looked like she just wanted to set a pick so badly and just got a little bit too anxious. Didn't turn her chair in time.
Broadbent's third foul. Looks like Broadbent will head off. Stotts coming in. And now Coffin will take it up for the Wildcats. Under 4 left to go in this opening half. 18-16, Arizona leading over Illinois. Lautenschlager inside the paint, gets it off the rim with the rebound. Couldn't get the follow-up shot. Went almost like Goldilocks there. Too weak, then too strong.
Yeah, I really like Wagstaff put her hand in the space to make Lautenschlager move the ball from the place she wanted to shoot.
There's a bucket in for Illinois. Abigail Counts, who's averaging 2.5 points per game heading into the tournament.
Yeah, some pressure up court by Illinois. Again, disrupt Arizona. Don't let them have clean looks.
Offensive foul going back in possession to Illinois.
Yeah, Coffin caught pushing, had her head down a bit, didn't see the Illinois defender, ran into her too late.
Yeah, her second foul there. Illinois in the bonus. They have 2 fouls to give in the remaining 3 of this first half. And a whistle. It looks like they may have had players on standby for a substitution, or they'll clarify. A couple players going in there for Arizona. Looks like they've got Pentecost and Rodriguez in. Checking in to give a rest to Long and Coffin. Wagstaff will go in for the shot. She's got 2.
Yeah, great seal by Counts. Counts recognizing the defender overplaying to jump. She just backed up slowly, and Wagstaff follow her in for that nice, easy bucket. Awesome setup by Counts. I love how far Illinois is pushing these screens out.
Right
Arizona.
side. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Those screens are really working as that shot from Frazier bounces to the sideline.
So slight adjustments by Illinois on defense, putting some pressure up court, get Arizona out, and then out of that, push Arizona a little bit wider to outside their comfort zone in 2 different ways offensively.
Wagstaff, really one of the pivotal members of this Fighting Illini team, as he looks for a tough shot at first. And will settle for getting it inside. 2 points from McCammon and a safety stoppage.
Yeah, Grant, again, I love the off-ball work and Conda Crindy setting a pick and then a seal to get her teammate posted up close to the basket.
I tell you, Conda Crindy, one of those players, just seeing the time she's spending here on the court, not on the stat sheet as much as she'd want to be, but really one of those players similar to what we saw earlier with one of the Berry brothers for Alabama, in how they're kind of that transitional player to help keep the offense going. As this gets dumped inside, Frazier won't get the shot, but does get the rebound after it bounces in the area to Pentecost, and a jump ball. Possession arrow keeps it on this side of the court.
Yeah, we can see that pressure from Illinois is disrupting Arizona. Arizona's going to have to do something similar to Illinois, and that's they're going to have to be able to pick off ball in the open court to get to the rim.
Lautenschlager And interesting that she's coming back into the game with foul trouble and that she's been staying clean for the most part. As this goes a minute 35 left to go in the first half. McCammon in a battle with Lautenschlager. Another one inside and gets back into the possession of Arizona.
Yeah, that was tough. It looked like the Arizona player was in the passing lane. That's one of those ones where Wagstaff may be calling for the ball, but you can always say no. Post players always think they're open.
Yeah, no, Arizona trying to set up this play as it's swiped away. McCammon at first on the backdoor Pentecost, and too weak of a shot. Tell you love to see Illinois' defense keeping Arizona out of the paint for the most part and having to take those tough shots as down into the paint, an easy bucket for Wagstaff.
Yeah, you see right off the bat, you talk about Illinois' pressure. It's not pressure to stop the chairs. It's not pressure to take the ball. It's pressure to disrupt the offense because they're constantly going under any picks. And that prevents all those cuts and eventually pushes Arizona farther out. So you can see how the full court press is pushing Arizona wider. And then you see the off-ball attack by Arizona again, or Illinois, as Arizona tries to do the same thing. Arizona's going to have to do the same thing. How do they create an off-ball attack in the open court against the Illinois pressure?
Year after year, from every corner of the globe.
From Toulouse, Luxembourg, Sydney, Monte Carlo,
Dubai. People come together to run for those who can't. A run for everyone, where the finish line chases you. On May 4th, watch the world unite again to find a cure for spinal cord injuries, one step at a time. The Wings for Life World Run 2025, live on Red Bull TV.
Final 49.4 in the first half. It's a 6-point lead for Illinois over Arizona. Wildcats were leading in the first quarter by 4. And Illinois has had a back-and-forth battle with them where it's been even on the score metric several times. Back from the left elbow, a foul drawn.
Yeah, you could see off ball that time. Arizona's Fraser was able to get in just before that foul. They were able to break him down off ball in the open court. Here's that power side for Arizona. You can see 3 defenders for Illinois over on that side.
Good rebound by Rodriguez, taking the tough shot as this will get back in the possession of Counts and a whistle for safety stoppage.
Yeah, I loved the way this time Illinois brought 3 defenders over. There's no room for any pick and roll. McCammon on the offside, playing a help defender and guarding 2 Arizona players in space. That's what makes it work, that offside defensive rotation.
19.4 before we get to halftime. Dump off for Advika. On to Crindy with the pass. Wagstaff uncontested into the lane for 2.
Again, Counts with the open court pick that freed up Wagstaff to get to the basket.
Gone to Crindy with a swipe and a jump ball. Possession arrow, Illinois.
Illinois, possession.
Watch for a mismatch right now with McCammon.
McCammon on the shot, won't land. That brings us to halftime. The Fighting Illini were down to the Wildcats, but have come back to take an 8-point lead. We'll be back in 15 minutes for coverage of the second half. You're watching the 2025 NIWBT on the NWBA YouTube channel.
All right, my name is Stephanie Wheeler, and I'm the head coach for the women's wheelchair basketball team. I will be starting my 16th season as head coach this coming season. I am a two-time Paralympic gold medalist as a player. I won gold in Athens 2004 and in Beijing 2008 as an athlete. And then I coached our team in 2016 to the gold medal at the Rio Paralympic Games. So I help our student athletes with their holistic development in quite a few ways, actually. I think one, they come here to be athletes, and so the bulk of what we do is their development on court. We work every single day with their athletic development, whether they're a novice to the game or whether they are a more experienced player and they're a national team player. So I get an opportunity to work with them every single day on court. That not only encompasses their athletic skills, but that's where we also teach a lot of our leadership skills. How to be a leader, how to be a follower, how to ensure that you're being a supportive teammate. So that's also something that we take pride in, that we do really well here. Is it's not just about basketball while we're on the court. We talk about leadership skills. We talk about how to be a great teammate. We also talk a lot about character skills on court. So I think those three things play a huge role into the holistic development of our student athletes. You can't just be on court and be focused on yourself and your own development. Your teammates are important, and who you are as a person is important. And I actually think that's probably the most important thing that we do, is help them grow as people, to become more resilient people, to become more determined people, to become more responsible people, whatever character skills we are working on. So on court, that's kind of what we encompass there. Off court, we work on some of those things too, and I also think that we play a big role in their academic development as well. We do check-ins. I do weekly check-ins with the student athletes on their academic progress, because I want to make sure that they understand that I care about what they're doing in the classroom, and that they understand that it's an important piece of what they do. So I think if you could distill down everything that we do, it's we focus in on the academics, we take care of the athletics on court, and then we focus on who you are as a person. All right, I wanted to be a coach for a number of reasons. One, I love wheelchair basketball. I love the sport of wheelchair basketball. I love everything about it. And as I was getting to the end of my playing career, I didn't want to be without basketball in my life. And so any opportunity to coach, I was going to take it. And so when this opportunity became available at Illinois, there was no question in my mind that I wanted to come back home and be a part of this legacy at Illinois. So I love wheelchair basketball. It's a great sport. I also love teaching, and every single day that I get to be on court with our student athletes and I get to teach them, whether it's basketball skills, life skills, whatever it might be, is a great day. So, if I can be involved in wheelchair basketball and I can teach, I couldn't ask for a better day. The other reason that I got involved in coaching is because I had two phenomenal coaches myself. Mike Frogley when I was a student athlete here at Illinois, and Ron Likens when I competed on the national team. And they had such a profound influence on my life and who I am as a person. To this day, I still call them up and rely on them, that I wanted to have the same impact on the student athletes that were coming through our program. At Illinois here, we have a great legacy of incredible student athletes to graduate from our program and go on to do amazing things. And, if I can play a small part in that, continuing that legacy of helping to graduate amazing student athletes, then, again, it's a great day. So anytime I can give back and do the things for our current student athletes that my coaches did for me, then I hope I'm having the impact on them that my coaches had on me. I love graduation day. It's such a culmination of everything that our student athletes have learned from the time they stepped on campus as freshmen to the time that they're leaving us and leaving the nest and going on to do all of the wonderful things that they're going to do. So graduation day is super special. But I think it's kind of hard to distill down the favorite part of the job, because I think there are moments that happen every single day that remind me why this job is so cool and why I'm so lucky. From being on court one day and seeing the light bulb pop for a student athlete on a particular skill that they've been working on and they finally get it, or to see an athlete come to my office door and say, hey, remember that test I had? Yeah, I crushed it. I got an A on it. Or to help them navigate something that's challenging in their life, a difficult situation, and to see them grow as a person because of, you know, how they navigated that. All of those are incredible moments, and those little things happen every day. And so it's really hard to pick out like favorite moments or favorite things or something like that. But I think that's the favorite part of my job. It's just the everyday piece of, you get to see this growth bit by bit, day by day, moment by moment, actually, for each of our student athletes. And you know, what a privilege it is to get to be that intimately involved in someone's life. What do I like to do for fun? Well, I bought a record player last summer, and I have recently gotten into listening to records. And so like in my free time, you can probably find me at one of our local record stops, digging for records, and then taking them back home and spending some time with them. So I've really been enjoying that recently. You know, I love sports in general, so I love going to sporting events. I love watching sporting events, you know, getting out to any of our Alumni sporting events, or if I can get to any like WNBA games or anything like that. I love watching sports. And then I love just relaxing, spending time with my wife, you know, doing something that's just where I can kind of shut down and turn off, have a nap every now and again. It's something I enjoy doing. So yeah, I don't know, you can catch me at a record shop, a sporting event, or on my couch.
So I don't look individually. Well, I do. I do look individually. I also look at the students as a whole. So I'm trying to, in my classes, I'm trying to role model what I hope that they will be as professionals. So specifically with the athletes, I know their time constraints. I come from an athletic family. So I have a really good understanding of all the pressures they're under to not only be athletes, but also to be students. And I want to help them figure out how to balance that. So I spend time with the athletes, specifically pretty much the first day of class. I have all the athletes stay, and we talk about my expectations, their scheduling, their challenges, and then I also encourage them to talk about those things with their team, because I put everybody in a student team. So you know, there's that. Communication is really important with all my students, but specifically with the athletes. I need them to let me know what's going on, what's happening in their world, what things they've got coming up, what I can do to support, what they might need outside of class for support. So it's a pretty holistic approach with them on what I need to be able to work with them the entire semester. So I actually kind of fell into it. I come from an athletic family, so we ran tournaments, we did lessons, we played on the circuit. I was a tennis player, so it took me till I got to college to actually realize that I could do this and be paid for it. So I started in prison recreation, then I moved to private, then I moved to campus recreation. And once I hit campus rec, it's like, this is where I'm supposed to be. Like I said, I've been doing this. I was with campus rec for 35 years. So it's something that I'm very passionate about, something that I love doing. It's also the student development side. That's pretty much my philosophy, is developing the students. So if I've got them in class, I'm also developing them to be young professionals right now and then our future professionals. So it's something that I absolutely love doing, and keep doing as long as they'll let me.
Hi, my name is Matthew Pullen. I am the assistant coach for both the men and the women's wheelchair basketball team here at the University of Illinois, and I will be going into my 7th season this next year. I help our student athletes in their holistic development in a number of different ways. On the court, we develop them into the best athletes that they can be, whether that be with individual goals or with team goals. We like to sit down with each and every one of them and understand what their goals are while they're here at the University of Illinois, whether that's to be the best collegiate athlete that they can be, and they get the most out of the collegiate experience as a wheelchair basketball player, to all the way to being the best possible elite Paralympic athlete that they can be, if that is their end goal. We help them achieve what they want to achieve by sitting down with each one of them and understanding what they want out of their experience when they're here, because at the end of the day, our job is to help them have the best possible experience they can as a student athlete here at Illinois. To help them academically, I do check-ins with them, I have conversations with them about how classes are going, what's coming up, what does finals look like. I help make the gym schedule for all of their lift times, and I like to work around all of their classes so that they have enough time to focus on all of the pieces that they need to focus on. I got into this profession kind of by chance. When we're talking in wheelchair basketball, I always knew I wanted to coach basketball. From the moment I knew that I wasn't going to be able to play basketball at the level that I originally hoped when I was young. I was in able-bodied basketball playing through high school, and then I was even able-bodied in athletics in college when I was an undergrad. I happened to get into wheelchair basketball by chance. It fell into my lap, and it took me all of 5 minutes to tell my boss, Mo. I was like, yeah, I'll take the job, and that was about 6 years ago. I really love getting to know each one of them in those deep ways, because that makes me a better person. It makes me a better coach. I know how to coach them better. If I know more of the ins and outs of who they are as an individual, I know how to connect with them better. But outside of basketball, I just love getting to know them as human beings, because we have some great people that come through these doors at the University of Illinois, and I don't know how you wouldn't want to get to know them with who they are as people. Because a fun fact about me is, before I got to Illinois and I was coaching wheelchair basketball, when I was in my undergrad at Wichita State, I was a manager for their basketball team for 3 years. That's how I got my start in college athletics, and it's only propelled me to where I am today.
Start of the second half in the State Farm Center. 26-18, Illinois leading over Arizona in this third place game for the 2025 NIWBT. Hard to believe things are starting to wrap up after this. We've only got 2 championship games left. The men's championship between the Moving Mavs, the Texas Arlington, and the Wildcats of Arizona. And then at 4 p.m., Alabama faces off against also the Moving Mavs in the women's championship. Number 1 and number 2 seeds facing off on both sides of the equation for those championships. Should be a lot of fun, but we got a remaining half here in this third place game to cover, and what's been a very much a heavyweight matchup between these two teams, Mike.
Yeah, it's been a great matchup. One of the big things I'm going to be watching is to see what adjustments come out of the half. And right off the bat, we see Arizona, they're shifting their defense. 2 up, 3 back. It's not the 5 up. So they wanted to do something disruptive, try to get Wagstaff or Atkin in the backcourt double teamed. So Illinois' got to learn from yesterday and do better today.
That shot will land in from Atkin. And gets the lead up to 10 for Illinois, their first basket of the second half.
And here's Illinois with the pressure up court. And so how does Arizona adapt and attack off ball against that pressure?
Lautenschlager, dump inside. From the lane, a 2-point shot won't go. Chance for Rodriguez as she gets the rebound on her own shot. Lautenschlager sinks it.
So as we talked about yesterday, UTA really effective at having 2 defenders up court and stopping one of the Illinois post players.
And a foul.
Arizona trying to do that again today.
Foul called right at midcourt. You know, I just noticed something. We're at University of Illinois right here in the State Farm Center. We had like 3 Coca-Cola cans open here on the desk. We are fortunate enough in the green room or the media dining room. We have great food that's on site. As this shot gets banked in, Radvika Kondakindri. Story time later, but Kondakindri with a great shot there, the freshman from Louisville, Texas. But just notice I probably should have grabbed one and gotten a caffeine jolt heading into this second half. Is that energizing you at least, Mike?
Absolutely. I love the extended pressure here that's disrupting Arizona so they can't get into their rhythm.
And a foul drawn. They'll call this one on Wagstaff.
Well, and Arizona's starting to create space so they can attack with cross picks against this pressure. Illinois has to remember to keep collapsing so they don't give up those cross picks.
That's the third foul on Mary Wagstaff. Several players getting into foul trouble here, but not a concern, especially for Lautenschlager.
And there, Atkin getting picked out, needed to collapse in on that pick on the outside. That's what opened up the eventual layup opportunity.
Atkin couldn't get the splash. Usually is good with the reach, and Radvika in perfect position.
Yeah, one of the things I've seen, Atkin gets into some great spots and gets a lot of opportunities. Sometimes rushes that shot, though.
2 shots there, making a third one coming up, and it's finally banked in by Wagstaff on third time's the charm.
Yeah, and you see Wagstaff, when she got that ball, paused for a second, found her open space to shoot from open space and get a quality shot, and she didn't rush it.
And a timeout called by Aslickson. 30 seconds for the Wildcats to think it over.
What would you say to that freshly injured veteran looking to get involved in adaptive sports?
I found my outlet through wheelchair basketball.
A lot of us are used to, having weapons in the military. Now 4MAGs is our new M16.
It's our new battle buddy. Once they find a chair that suits them, anything's possible.
When you understand the ins and outs of a chair or your weapon, you're unstoppable.
Chance for Coach Aslickson to think it over. She also reflected on her team earlier this week about she was impressed with the character and felt that they are mentally advanced than most other teams that she's seen, and mentioned she likes seeing the skill sets advance and their leadership, but talking about that sort of mental toughness as That's a 10-second violation before they got it out of midcourt.
I love the position that Wagstaff had on the Arizona player. She was on the inside hip of that player, which forces that player to cut towards the sideline to receive a pass. So the ball's going away. Trying to catch a ball going away from you is tough. We see what happens there.
Back across the free throw line, a foul drawn.
Yeah, Count's cutting in at the elbow. Instead of staying and attacking with Wagstaff, going and attacking with Atkin, sealing in to give Atkin that look at the basket.
High up reach to Atkin. They'll swap it over. Wagstaff looked like Lautenschlager could have gotten a hand on it, and a bucket for Wagstaff. And what's impressed me the most about Jade Atkin, certainly she's got the reach over players, but the fact that she's able to still rebound and utilize that reach to get in good position.
Yeah, and you know what I love there? Again, there you see the ball swings. Arizona started with the double. Illinois spread to attack 4-on-3. Arizona rotated. Illinois read it, readjusted, came back and tacked it in the 2-on-2 game and got Wagstaff open.
Nilsson try to get some teammates around to set up the play. Frazier will go for a distant shot, and that one looked good, just bounced out. A 12-point lead for Illinois in the third now.
Yeah, Arizona hasn't been able to consistently get to the rim in the half court. Illinois has done a great job having discipline, forcing longer shots.
And there's another longer shot from Wagstaff as she's got another two to make it a 14-point lead. And even with this large lead, Atkin gets the interception. Even with this large lead, you still see Coach Wheeler trying to get good coaching and encourage your teammates there.
Yeah, Coach Wheeler's not going to stop coaching for a second. She won't take a break because she has that expectation on the players. They don't take breaks. She doesn't take breaks. They see her. They're going to follow that role model.
Same thing can be said about the rest of the assistant coaches on the other side. Matthew Poland, been around for about 7-8 years with Illinois, graduated with his most recent degree in 2020. Marley Wagstaff joining the coaching staff. And we talked about the alumni being immersed in this program, as Wagstaff will get a rebound on her own shot and bank it in. But you love the alumni being around the program, and I know there was that alumni reception that happened just last night.
Yeah, such an awesome opportunity. When you have a program with this much tradition, anytime you can bring together the alums, that really, really helps connect it. And when you can connect them to the current student athletes understand where they came from. They also understand the responsibility they'll have moving forward to give back in the same way that our alums have done that to create the opportunity for them.
I remember the first conversation you and I had when we were going into these broadcasts and calling games. You mentioned you love the opportunity to be able to give back. And I know especially seeing the tournament and seeing the Illini play in this stadium is meaningful to you as well.
Oh, yeah. It's part of the DNA of all of our student athletes, all of our alum. It's the best way, but it's the way we were raised. And it goes all the way back to Dr. Nugent and the values he has instilled in all of us throughout the years. And God rest his soul.
Foul on the floor called on Atkin. Lautenschlager was trying to go to the basket.
And all of a sudden, we're starting to see that gap in the game. And you're seeing Illinois getting shots at the rim. They're starting to hit them. Arizona struggling to get shots at the rim, having to settle for shots outside more often than not.
Dump and a good steal by Wagstaff to get it back to Illinois. At the halfway point in the third, a 14-plus lead, 16 points total for the difference between Arizona and Illinois. This will get dumped in. A two-point shot almost made its way in, just bounced all along the rim. And another steal by Wagstaff, but a foul.
Wagstaff really, she has her head up. She's reading the whole court defensively. We always talk about having your head up and seeing space. You can see her head looking around, looking in new spaces about every 2 seconds, and that's letting her read and anticipate the play and get in these passing lanes.
Clarification about to occur here at the scores table. Officials just trying to figure out and make sure things are correct. And
so great example here. The two Arizona defenders are pinching the Illinois player Atkin, and so now Illinois needs to attack off ball 4-on-3.
I've seen that a couple of times where they've had those pinch moments. As Illinois will get the inbounder. Adkins. And even with two defenders around her, she's still able to get the passes off and help Wagstaff to get those good looks. As Arizona will take it back.
Well, I love the idea of her passing out of the double team, and she hit Wagstaff, who had a mismatch down low.
Coffin, dump it over Nilsson. Right side, Frazier. Frazier, Lautenschlager with the bucket.
Illinois going just a little bit farther out than I think they wanted. Nice job by Lautenschlager.
Illinois trying to get it across midcourt, and they do. Radvika in possession and a jump ball. It's going the other way.
Yeah, a couple of the Illinois players caught up getting deep and didn't look back to see that they needed to post and create space out of that.
You hear that communication from Lily trying to get a teammate to move and pass it in. As this gets slung around to Coffin. Dump left side, a good active hand move by Wagstaff, but the Wildcats recover. 2-point shot attempt and one. Foul on Wagstaff as Nilsson will go to the line.
Yeah, Wagstaff trying to do a jump and trail so they don't have to triple switch and open up an offside attack. She might have gotten a little bit too close to Hilly or to Nilsson and in contesting that shot. It's such a challenging thing in those things on jump and trail like that. When you're following, you got to remember where the player is going to be shooting from. Put your hand in that space. And remember, you're changing the shot, not trying to block the shot.
The lead shaved down to 11. McCammon on the outside. A lot of good defensive maneuvers here from Arizona. They have to get some stops. Active hands there as that bounces in and out.
Great look by Atkin off ball, getting to work off ball close to the basket. Arizona collapsed their defense that time and just played in the half court.
Toss over intended for Lautenschlager and a foul. Adkin protesting. Actually call that one on Radvika for the foul. Arizona will retain possession. And Illinois already up to 4 fouls in the quarter. Arizona 3, starting to get towards that bonus territory as we saw in the first quarter. Frazier try to set things up here for Arizona. Dump inside. Lily gets fouled, no shot. But it's an offensive foul. She's the one who's charged with it.
Yeah, a lot of times what officials look for, and rightly so, the cue is if a person makes contact and their back wheels come up off the ground, then they typically haven't leaned back, so there's no attempt to stop. They're out of control of their chair. That's when they call that offensive foul.
So Lautenschlager on her 4th foul, so now in danger of being out of the game if she's not careful. That shot will bounce out from McCammon. Lily on the possession.
Illinois' pressure here really giving.
And there's a whistle there, a timeout call. You could see from the Arizona bench, or we could see it at least from our vantage point, Coach Aslickson was calling a 30-second timeout when they were in possession. Didn't like the look that she saw, and that'll get us to a brief break.
Hey guys, Danny here with a quick tip on your axles. Have you guys ever had it where the button doesn't come all the way out? and the wheel just comes right off. The reason for that is that your axle's a little bit too short. So what we have here is a 7/16 wrench that comes with the chair, and then a 3/4 inch ratchet wrench, or you can use a crescent wrench, and you can find all of those parts at your local hardware store. So what we're gonna do is loosen this axle up just a little bit. And I know some of you guys have had a bent axle before where the axle won't even come out. When that happens, what I like to do is take that nut completely off and then slide.
2:28 left to go in the third. Feels almost like it's the final stretch of the game with how tightly contested these teams have been performing as they've come out of the locker room.
Yeah, you see both teams going back and forth in small little adjustments, going from full court to half court defense in different variations.
Nilsson with the breakaway for two.
Now Arizona putting pressure up court. So another defensive adjustment is there's a chess match going back and forth between the two coaches.
Broadbent in the wings, ready to come in for Illinois. Ball gets loose. Nilsson will let it roll out to keep it in possession to Arizona.
Substitute for the Alumni, Katie Broadbent. Wildcat ball.
Broadbent will send Amelia Stotts back to the bench. Lautenschlager trying to get the ball. It goes out on the baseline, still in possession of Arizona.
Looking over at Coach Wheeler on the sideline as Stotts came off, and I could see her talking about chair position. Always teaching, always trying to make the players better.
Frazier. And a 9-point difference with Illinois on the lead. Chance to try and make it 7 here. Yes, Abby Coffin. 38-31 as Coach Wheeler is going to call a 30-second timeout.
Something special for you guys because getting your jerseys is a big deal. And especially for those of you, this is your first Illini jersey, it's a really big deal. Our theme this week and our focus this week is going to be legacy, okay? And talking about our own legacy as a team, as a program, and as individual athletes, what our legacy is. So that's kind of why we prompted you all to think about those things today, because we want to do something, one, that honors our legacy as a program, and then two, that honors your teammate, because you're going to share this journey with them as we go through this season.
1:36 left in this third quarter. Coach Wheeler getting the chance to think things over, discuss the next moves. A 7-point difference that at one point was as high as 16. Illinois trying to stop any further run from occurring. McCammon. McCammon not able to get around any of these Arizona defenders from outside of the paint. Adkin tried to get a look, couldn't get it there. Final seconds does reset the shot clock as it's swiped away, but back into possession to Frazier and a foul. And with that being the 5th foul, we are in the bonus.
That could be a factor. Atkin now with 4 fouls and still a little over a quarter to play. How does she manage that? And then does Arizona do something different to try to take advantage of that?
Frazier couldn't get it in. Yeah, you got several players that are getting close to that foul trouble metric. I know for Arizona, Lautenschlager is also at 4 fouls. Let's be careful going down the stretch. Both free throws missed. Ball loose and back to Illinois. The Atkin foul did not cost him. 54 left in the third.
So Arizona with more of a collapsing defense now. They're not trying to pin one of those post players for Illinois like they had earlier. So another adjustment.
3-second violation. Arizona will get it back.
Illini ball. Substitute for the Illini, number 10, Barry Wagstaff.
Wagstaff will come in for Atkin. Coach Wheeler making the decision to preserve Jade, at least for a couple of minutes. Coffin, dump inside. Here goes Lilly. Try and set up the play. Right wing Frazier with the two-pointer. Too strong.
There's that long two that Illinois has been pretty consistent creating for Arizona with their defense.
Final seconds, a foul.
So impressed with Counts as I'm watching her out there and her ability to pick in the open court and stick her picks and create space for her post players. Really, really, really a real strength of hers.
Coffin called for a third foul. Both teams just hoping to get out of the third period with having 5 fouls each. Goal for no more free throws. Wagstaff drains it.
You can hear the one lone fan trying to upset Wagstaff, but I don't think it worked.
Some passionate fans here from Tucson. No stress for Mary Wagstaff to increase the lead back to 9. Arizona will plan to just hold on to the ball and get to the final frame. 40-31, Illinois leading over Arizona heading into the fourth.
Performax signed me when I was 16 years old, before I accomplished anything in this sport. They were the first ones who believed in my capabilities, and I'll never be able to repay them for what they've given me. Not only from a product side of it, they believed in my potential before I even did. This is my way of giving back to their organization and their grassroots program that they're putting together here at DK's 3-on-3. It's just something I'm honored to be a part of. It's starting to get to that time where it's my turn to give back. If that means helping kids get to college, that's something I'd be interested in. If it's helping a D3 kid work really hard to get up to the championship level, that's something I'd be interested in. It's getting to the point where championships, gold medals, that's becoming less of a priority, but to give back to the sport that has given me everything in my life, if I have the opportunity.
Final 10 minutes in this women's third place game. The Illinois Fighting Illini leading over the Arizona Wildcats 40-31. Spencer Topset, Mike Frogley, producer Matt Talbot, bringing you the action from the State Farm Center in Champaign, Illinois, the heartland of America, as Wagstaff tries to weave around. You saw the bounce back and forth, the shimmy, trying to find an angle through the Wildcats, and it ends back up in Arizona's possession.
Yeah, really intelligent, really athletic by Wagstaff, having the ability to be able to tilt her chair and find open space for a shot.
Arizona not happy with the 10-second violation called. A lot of disbelief there, but regardless, Illinois will keep it in possession. One of those close ones, too, where you get right on the line.
Yeah, the thing the players have to do, make sure it's not close.
Oh, yeah. Get it out of there sooner than 9.5 to 10.5 seconds. And a 3-second violation. Arizona's got it back.
Wildcat ball.
Illinois with his pressure up court. I love the way their defense has been collapsing to take away cuts off ball.
Almost swiped there by Wagstaff. Arizona keeps it in possession. Haley Nilsson dump inside again to Frazier. Frazier to Nilsson on the screen. Splash.
We saw that before earlier in the game. Illinois content to have a two-person game and not rotate to stop Nilsson rolling to the basket.
Abby Dunn trying to force a 10-second violation of their own, but Wagstaff was in the area for the pass. They try to get the pressure here on Abigail Counts. Inside, going for the shot. McCammon banks it in.
Yeah, great pass, great ball handling by Counts, then great pass up high. That allowed Counts to be able to work off ball.
And a foul. Looks like Abigail Counts will be called for the foul. Arizona will keep possession. You also wonder how disciplined these teams will be, especially with both of them getting to the bonus in the third quarter.
Yeah, they're going to have to exercise a little bit more discipline. As fast-paced as it's been, as physical, more fouls are going to start to really take their toll on the two different teams.
And a mistake by Nilsson, Broadbent on the cleanup to swipe the ball, and Illinois has got it back the other way with a 9-point lead. Broadbent almost had it swiped away. McCammon with the distant shot. Splash!
That was incredible. Two Arizona defenders. McCammon turns, spots up, recognizes time, and then has the ability and the focus to hit that shot.
Another foul on McCammon. And it looks like they'll bring back in Atkin, who's sitting at 4 fouls.
It'll be really interesting to see who gets to play longer today, Lautenschlager or Atkin, and how that can impact the game.
Toss over, Coffin, tiptoeing the median. Lautenschlager, dump, last second Nilsson will have to slow down, almost got the ball swiped from her. Toss back to the free throw line. Swipe by Wagstaff to interrupt the pass. From distance on the two-pointer, Dunn gets it, even though she almost got beat. Other side, Lautenschlager, too high. Back over to Atkin. Atkin, collision there with Frazier. Deep toss, right side. Broadbent looking for the angle on the shot. Too low. About 7 minutes left to go in the fourth and a whistle.
Arizona foul, Lily Lautenschlager.
And Lautenschlager will foul out. That is her 5th foul. She will not be able to play in the rest of the game.
That's a tough one. She got caught with her head down, pushing, trying to get up the court quickly. Looked up too late. Illinois defender right there. And she has played outstanding. I mean, she's done a little bit of everything. It's almost like she's a Swiss Army knife for Arizona out there. She can hit the outside shot, go to the basket, handle the ball, attack off ball, guard full court, half court. This is going to be a big loss, but she's got to leave the game and this tournament knowing she has played great throughout the tournament.
Tough that she's not going to be able to be in the rest of the game. 11-point lead for Illinois does not increase on that shot. Coffin gets the rebound. And Rosie Long, the freshman from Toronto, Canada, will have to try to fill the gap as this gets passed over, and a whistle.
Right away, not having that extra dominant ball handler out there looks like it's having an impact in Illinois, taking advantage of it, keeping pressure up the court. Looks like coach from Arizona wants her ladies to get up court and begin to put some pressure up court.
Illinois has been lights out on trying to force these 10-second violations in the second half. Stotts on the pass to Wagstaff. Mary Wagstaff will just hold it. Another toss to the right. And going for the shot from distance, too short. That was Radvika, who gets the ball as it's loose. Nilsson didn't possess it. Adkin. Illinois with the steal. Adkin inside. Wagstaff looking for the shot off the rim. Arizona with the deep toss to Nilsson, but Adkin in the area on the pressure. Toss right side, going for the follow-up. Couldn't get the finish, but a good setup for Rosie Long as Arizona keeps the ball.
Yeah, like Atkin, she understands she's got 4 fouls. She wasn't aggressive on either of those 2 offensive players for Arizona. Content to just try to fake one way or another, then stop and make them take the shot and hopefully miss.
Coffin, 17 on the shot clock. Coffin tried to get around Wagstaff. Just got into a brick wall. Frazier, dump inside. Another 2-point shot from Long. Just couldn't get the accuracy on it as Illinois will take it back down. Wagstaff, deep toss, Atkin.
Like that, Atkin came back to be available for the post.
Foul. Rosie Long called for the foul.
Rosie Long, second. Team's second.
Both teams at 2 fouls on the quarter. About the halfway point in the 4th. And a foul. Abigail Dunn called for the foul.
Abby Dunn.
I believe I could hear Coach Aslickson saying to foul intentionally to try and stop the clock as another 2-point shot goes in for Wagstaff. 13-point lead. Dunn with the lob. Ball lost there by Rosie Long and back into Wagstaff's possession. Another chance. 2-pointer in, counts.
Yeah, Illinois' pressure really taking its toll on Arizona. It's taken them out of their rhythm that they had earlier, and now it's starting to cause turnovers.
Travel called on Abigail Counts.
Traveling violation. Illini ball.
Amelia Stotts will pass it in. That's Atkin. Other side, Wagstaff inside the paint. Arizona gets the rebound. Coffin with the deep toss, a swipe from Atkin. And that's been the story of the game. Arizona's fought. They've tried to keep it close, but Illinois has been too much for them to handle as Abigail Counts will get the basket.
Abigail Counts has had a great game today. I mean, we know she can move her chair. She's great at setting seals to get her post players in, but we've also seen her handle the ball a lot today and then find open space to hit shots. Great game for Abigail Counts.
And a timeout called by Arizona. Chance for them to think it over with 4:05 left in the game.
Only thing that's on my mind is who's gonna run this town tonight.
Yeah, I said it, we are. This is Rock Nation. Pledge your allegiance.
$17-point lead for Illinois over Arizona. Be sure to stick around here on the NWBA YouTube channel. We've got the men's championship coming up between the Moving Mavs of Texas Arlington and the Wildcats of Arizona. And then Alabama and UT Arlington will face off in the women's championship. Those games starting at 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. Central. Basket for Coffin.
Yeah, Illinois' defense started farther out that time, maybe in anticipation of Arizona trying to take some threes, trying to take those away.
Foul called on the floor on Coffin. We've got one more. Well, no more fouls to give. They head to the bonus. Arizona will after that, and looks like that's what they're content with. Trying to at least preserve some time and force it to the line. Problem is when you bring Mary Wagstaff to the line, you're not going to have much hope with that.
Yeah, if at this point in the game you want to start putting people on the line like that, one of the things you can do as a coach is you can bring in situation subs. You can bring in players that have more room to give on terms of your fouls. Put them in, have them fouled, and sub them back out. Put an offensive player in like that. Also, there's enough time right now where Arizona could try to get Wagstaff to pass the ball to somebody else and then foul that somebody else.
51-35 as Arizona will bring in Rodriguez and give Frazier a chance to relax. Inside with the toss. Lob over Nilsson.
Yeah, Illinois extending more now, putting more pressure, probably feeling more comfortable now that Lautenschlager is out of the game.
And the shot clock winding down. One last attempt here that will hit off of the rim to prevent a violation. And Arizona gets it back. Nilsson on good possession. Haley Nilsson will go inside for two, and that'll be rebounded by the Illini. Another foul on Coffin.
So one of the things that really helps the players develop a good end game skills is if coaches put that into every single game, every single practice. One of the things I see is there's a tendency sometimes with coaches, they'll leave that till the end of the season, maybe the last week or two. They start doing some end game scenarios. It's tough to learn these complexities in such a short period of time. If you do just a little bit every day in practice from the very beginning of the season to the end, your players really understand the principles of an end game.
So now two players have fouled out for the Wildcats. Abby Coffin, the junior, heading to the bench. Lautenschlager, the senior, fouling out. And now under 3 minutes left to go in regulation as those shots won't land. Abigail Counts dump over. Wagstaff on the follow-up, too strong. Arizona will exit out of this tournament with a 1-2 record. Got an impressive win against the University of Wisconsin Whitewater in the quarterfinal, 63-29. As this shot will bank its way in. Still excitement from the Arizona bench, this time for Mackenzie Hagg.
Yeah, and you see Illinois with that extended pressure now and how they've changed a little bit. Now they're going out over top. They're not collapsing back in quite as much. They're putting pressure on people that aren't as used to handling the ball on the perimeter.
Rodriguez called for her second foul. Jade Atkin to the line. As mentioned, the bonus already met at this point for the Illini. One of the things that Coach Aslickson was also impressed with on this team is the leadership that she's seeing from her respective players. And even with the deficits they face, the challenges, it's hard to go through a season where you only have 6 wins and 3 in the collegiate level, but she's very impressed with what they've been able to improve on an individual basis.
Well, they return a lot of players to next year's team, and that improvement that they've been doing throughout the tournament, that can carry over into next year because, as you mentioned, they've got a lot, or as we mentioned, they've got a lot of players that are going to be returning. Those players will be continuing to get better.
And a whistle called. Coach Wheeler is going to call a 30-second timeout. 2:02 left to go in the fourth.
What would you say to that freshly injured veteran looking to get involved in adaptive sports?
I found my outlet through wheelchair basketball.
A lot of us are used to, having weapons in the military. Now Formax is our new M16.
It's our new battle buddy. Once they find a chair that suits them, anything's possible.
When you understand the ins and outs of a chair or your weapon, you're unstoppable.
.202 left to go in regulation, 54-37. Illinois leading over Arizona. Second to last women's game in the 2025 NIWBT tournament.
Little bit of a miscue by Arizona coming out.
2-point shot attempt won't go, but the follow-up from Atkin gets a third rebound and banks it in.
And Coach Wheeler signaling, continue to stay up, continue to stay up. This is what's worked. This is how we're going to finish the game.
And that speaks to the character of the Fighting Illini, not just in the adaptive sports scene for them, but in the regular scene all across campus of the finish strong and don't let up. And you know that very well from your days of gracing these very halls.
Well, you get a mindset. There's a mindset about doing your best and being precise all the way through. You don't just do it when it's easy. You do it all the time, and you're constantly looking to improve. This is an end game to get to practice.
And a whistle. Wagstaff fouled. Another chance for her to go to the line for 2.
And a great example is for Illinois, Speaks getting the chance to come in right now. So help give her the opportunity to do this end game. Johnson coming in right now. Have her practice finishing a game and the precision that you have to have in your detail of your execution and the detail of your execution and decision making.
Wagstaff will get it in there. And I like what you said about Arizona with them returning several players as well. For Illinois, you've got two juniors looking on the roster. You got 2 sophomores, 4 sophomores, and 2 juniors. They have a couple of grad students and 1 senior. So that shot gets banked in on the follow-up. But like the rising stars, in essence, for the Fighting Illini and the future of this program, too.
Yeah. I saw Coach Aslaxon as well continue to teach and coach her players, not packing it in, and that mindset will carry over to her young team as it moves forward as well.
55.1 with the foul. This will be called on Speaks. You mentioned the sophomore from Kid Hills, Ohio, getting a chance. Member of CRU on campus with the Fighting Illini, and he also loves attending the on-campus sporting events, and a huge seafood lover too, which I know we're in the heartland of America, a couple hours away from a full body of water, at least on the Great Lakes or heading over to the ocean, but seafood sounds good right now. You a seafood guy at all?
You know what? I like a good grilled salmon.
Oh, yeah. I enjoy it all. Shrimp, crab, lobster, all that. 3-point banked. The exclamation mark as Poland showing his joy with Mary Wagstaff.
Yeah, Illinois really has been clicking. It really helped when they put this pressure up and disrupted Arizona's game in the half court. I think that threw Arizona off a little bit. Put their head down. They tried to focus on handling the ball. They got out of focusing on how to create scoring opportunities.
Shot clock taken down with the change in possession. Illinois, all they will have to do is just possess it as they take it back over. Well, the Wildcats had a challenge ahead. They knew that it was going to be a test. The Fighting Illini had some closely contested matches with Arizona throughout this game, but for Illinois, they get a 2-1 record in their women's wheelchair basketball team here at the State Farm Center. As you hear the Fighting Illini faithful overjoyed with this one-sided victory over Arizona.
And this concludes the third, fourth place game.
Yeah, great. Great job by Illinois. Different things that Arizona was trying to do. Really impressed with not just the post players like Atkin and Wagstaff and McCammon, but the lower classification players like Counts and Broadbent and Stotts, and what they did up in their game, expanding their skills so they were handling the ball as well as sealing. And then you saw some key buckets from them. On the other side, Arizona, they were in it early. They battled all the way through, and then it was really just towards the last quarter that we started to see that gap open up. There are a lot of good things to build on from Arizona's standpoint, and it'll be neat to see what they do next year.
Well, that's going to do it for this third place game. Final score 62-37, Illinois over Arizona. For Mike Frogley, our producer Matt Talbot, all the hardworking men and women that make this run so smoothly, I'm Spencer Thompson saying so long from Champaign. Illinois takes third place in the women's division for the NWBA intercollegiate scene.